Because I know when we had a discovery call earlier in the year and you were talking about batching, that's something else that you could do, like taking a day out of the month where you're batching a bunch of B-rolls just to sit on. So when you have these ideas, you can pull from those videos and, throw some text that's related to what you're talking about for this season and then just schedule it out. And then if you are, committing yourself to do 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you can start scheduling those things out to where then it's just like literally on autopilot.
Welcome to the Side-HustlHER Podcast, the podcast for women building their dreams while balancing work, family, and all the things. I'm your host, Carly LeBlanc, a wife, mom, marketer, and your side hustling friend here to teach you how to grow a brand that works for you and not the other way around. Whether you're a side hustling pro or just starting out, this is your safe place for real talk, actionable strategies, and the encouragement you need to keep going. We're here to help you make progress and not perfection. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's build your dream one step at a time. Hello, and welcome to the Side-HustlHER Podcast. I'm your host, Carly LeBlanc, and I'm so excited to have you here today because we are going to get into a social media audit. Today in the chair, we have Theresa, who is the founder of With Grace and Grit Coaching. She's a licensed therapist and mindset coach for high-achieving, overthinking, millennial-ish women who feel stuck in their heads even though they're doing all the things correctly. Now, by day, Theresa is a licensed professional counselor, and 24/7, she's the coach helping women break free from self-doubt, perfectionism, people-pleasing, and procrastination so that they can actually live their lives instead of just always thinking about it. In this episode, I'm putting Theresa in the hot seat for a live social media audit, and we're going to be diving in on how to position herself as the go-to mindset coach online, how to use her therapist background as a competitive advantage, and how to show more of her so her ideal customers can actually find her and trust her. We'll also be diving into her Instagram name, bio highlights, and content strategy so her page is set up to attract these women who she's called to serve. We're also going to be discussing how she can get clear on her message, show up online with confidence, and turn her content into a pipeline for dream clients instead of just posting to post. So grab your notebook, settle in, and let's get into today's episode.
All right. Well, hello, Theresa, and welcome to the Side Hustler Podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yes, I'm super excited to have you. And we have been connected for a very long time. I feel like since the beginning of this year.
Huh?
And we finally met in real life not too
No,
long
right?
ago. But yeah, I'm super excited to be diving in today into your business because I know that when we originally connected, you were talking about some offers that you were trying to put out and all of the things. And I am so excited to have you here to just kind of give you some insight on how to, get you on your way.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very much excited.
Yes. So for the people that are not familiar with who you are, what you do, can you get them a little bit of insight on what you do, what services you offer, and the name of your business?
Okay, so I am Teresa. I am the owner of With Grace and Grit Coaching, and I work with high achieving, overthinking, millennial-ish women who feel stuck in their heads, right? Constantly second guessing themselves, chasing perfection, feeling like they're never doing enough, even though they're already doing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those that get overwhelmed by decisions, that procrastinate because they're scared to mess it up or they beat themselves up for not having it all figured out, those are the women that I help. I help them break free from the mental blocks like self-doubt, fear of failure, people pleasing, so that they can move forward and not just feel like they're watching life, but they're actually engaged in their life. So I help them to live less and think more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you didn't hit on the fact that you are a therapist, which
I'm a licensed professional therapist, licensed professional counselor, and that's like my 9 to 5, and coaching is my 24/7.
yeah.
Okay. And so I have a lot of experience with helping people through mindset blocks, right? At first, many people don't realize it's a mindset block. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just this. And I'm like, is it really? And so God has really gifted me with this natural ability on top of now having the clinical training that I've had for years of how to quickly identify what it really is,
Mm-hmm.
and then develop a strategy and tools for how do we, number one, identify that, address that, and then get a plan going.
Yeah.
That's the way my mind has been wired since I was a child. And so the therapy side is a little bit different because I can't really, I need to help you figure that out. As a coach, it's like, "Hey, here's what it is, and here's what we need to do." Um,
Mhm.
and so it's been a beautiful thing to be able to walk along people in that aspect, so many women in that aspect, and see them come into what they were afraid to come into. So,
Yeah.
yeah, love what I get to
Yeah.
do.
No, and I think that that's what really sets you apart, and no shade to any of the other mindset coaches, but I feel like a lot of mindset coaches or life coaches, like, they are taking like these certifications to get certified, but I feel like for you, it kind of really puts you in a position to be an expert because of you having the background of being a therapist. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so we're gonna get into that. But that's why I was like, you didn't even mention that you were a therapist, okay?
I don't when I go into main spaces because people naturally like, "Oh, do you accept insurance?" And I'm like, "I'm not here as a therapist. I'm here as
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Right,
No, I get that.
but
No.
yes, I am licensed, I have the training and all the clinical everything, but it literally is wired in me. I was talking to someone, earlier this morning, and he was like, "You just gave me a whole roadmap." I'm like, "I don't even coach man." I wasn't coaching him. It's
Mm,
just I naturally can just see things and like, "Okay, here's where it is. Do you see that? Okay, let's talk about that for a second. What do we need to do to get out of there?" And so what I love about coaching is I get to curate what it will look like for you. I get to
mhm.
walk with you. It's not a cookie cutter approach. It is
Yeah,
a specific. So you can be in week 3 and your next door neighbor could be in week 3 and it looks completely different because
yeah,
you're not following the same path because you're not the same people. So I love that I get to be a coach and that I also have the clinical experience behind that. Yeah, I
yes.
feel like it gives me a little bit of an edge.
It definitely does, honey, okay? So, what I like to first start off by with the audits is asking the person that's in the hot seat, what do you feel like take a if you could go fast forward time and you see yourself in 5 years, what do you see yourself being known as? What are you doing in business? Like, walk us through that journey.
In 5 years, I will be working for myself. So the 9
Mhm,
to 5 will not need to exist, right? Because again, I am who I am 24/7. I
mhm,
am not, I don't turn it off or turn it on. This is just who
mhm,
I
mhm.
am. But I see myself, I don't want to try to be deep or spiritual, but I am a spiritual being,
We
right?
can go there.
I see myself helping women find the freedom that they're supposed to be walking in.
Mhm,
And a lot of that, most of that starts with their mindsets. And so that's what I see myself doing. I see myself equipping women and, I just feel like I'm called to women in general, but specifically with coaching millennial-ish, so a little bit older, a little bit younger, really walking in the things that God has called them to be in.
mhm,
Walking out their purpose unapologetically, unashamed, maybe some fear every now and then, but still moving regardless of that, right?
mhm.
Recognizing that you have all of heaven backing you. And so in 5 years, that really is the plan. Like, I would love to say, oh, I see myself doing this or this. This is what I am called to do. And so in
Mhm.
5 years, it would just be on a larger scale where I won't have to work that around my 9 to 5.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I love that. And so what do you feel like right now when it comes to marketing your brand, getting to that goal? What is stopping you or what is the biggest hurdle or challenge that you're facing right now?
So I naturally, in the therapeutic world, I've had all types of clients,
Mhm.
all type of millennial-ish women who are high achieving. I'm talking about women in tech that are flown all across the world and creating LinkedIn courses. I've had attorneys. I've had pediatric cardiologists. I've had these women, and like from the outside. And I told one of my clients this. You are literally on someone's vision board. Like,
Mhm.
all the things, somebody is, like, aspiring to that, but they feel stuck in their personal lives or even sometimes in their professional lives, like, "Well, I don't know," because I'm like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Let's pull this back."
Okay, quick pause. If creating consistent content feels like a full time job on top of your full time job, then you're going to want to hear this. I am excited to bring to you Batch, which is a new marketplace platform that I and my co founder, Lauren, have created, built for entrepreneurs and content creators. This is the marketplace that is going to connect business owners and entrepreneurs who need content with vetted local creators who can help them plan, shoot, and edit their content all in one place. So many of you have asked, when am I going to be able to book you for a content day? When can you come to my city? Do you know anyone in my city that does what you do? And this is going to be the solution. So whether you're an entrepreneur who is tired of struggling to find reliable content creators, photographers, or maybe you're just a creator who's ready to get booked and paid without having to go through the social media marketing of your business, Batch is going to be the platform that bridges that gap. So, say for instance, if you're flying to New York for a speaking engagement and you need content there, or even if you have a vendor pop up event in New Orleans and you need content there, Batch is going to be the creator marketplace that helps you get high quality content to market your brand online. It's designed to help you finally show up online with strategy, with confidence, and create consistent content that converts and actually helps you reach your visibility and revenue goals without the overwhelm. So if you're ready to make content creation easier and more intentional, head over to batchcontent.com. That's BATCHED content.com. Join the waitlist so you are the first to know when Batch is launched in your city.
Because if you could see what I'm seeing, we have so much evidence and so much proof as to why you should not be afraid to launch out
Yes.
and do this. And so let's talk about what is the thing that's holding you back? What is the mindset that you are in that needs to be broken? And so sometimes the procrastination is because there's some doubt or there's some fear of failure or there's some imposter syndrome. And so we really hone in on what that thing is and begin to work through that.
Mhm.
And it's a quick thing. Like once we identify it, it's a quick process of how we can get you out of that and taking your next steps.
So your challenge that you face with marketing your brand.
Yeah, I got so as a therapist, they find me. They find me. One of their friends tell them about like, oh my gosh. And that's another thing. Many people don't want to tell their friends. They'll tell their coworkers, but like, I don't want my friend to have the same therapist as me. I get it. They won't know anything about you, but I get it. As a coach, Theresa has to be in the forefront.
Yeah.
Therapist. I'm a licensed professional therapist. You don't really know what's happening in my world. I don't really say, "Hey, here's the problem and here's what we need to do." I don't do it's a completely different field. So as a coach, I have to put Teresa out there more. I'm not used to like if you looked at my personal Instagram, it's like a couple of things like 5Ks that I did from like 7 or 8 years ago showing my time. Like I don't really post on my personal Instagram like that. And
Mhm.
so like now being a coach and a business owner, it's like, okay, I got to put me out there and I
Mhm.
have to share more about me. People have to see me, they have to hear me, they have to see, and so there's a whole lot of me and I'm very much of a background. I'll push
Yeah.
you, I'll encourage you, I'll coach you through, and nobody really has to know it's me.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, actually they do have to know. So it's
Mhm.
like this challenge for me has been how do I get myself out there in front of my ideal audience and targeted population so that they can know, oh, that's her. That's who I need to be connected with.
Yeah, that's good. Well, we're gonna get into it, okay? Because I want to see you thrive. I feel like you have a solid business structure, and so I want to see you thrive. I want to see you win. So we're gonna dive in. So for all of the people that are listening, that want to follow along with us, you can find Teresa online at With Grace Grit Coaching. And so the way that I like to structure these social media audits are I like to talk about your name portion, your bio, highlights, and then content into four different pieces. So the first thing we're going to talk about is your name. And when we talking about your name, we're talking about the bolded part that's on your profile. And
Mhm.
right now you don't have anything in there. It's blank. There's nothing. And so, what that is doing for you is that when people are searching mindset coach or life coach or these keywords, you're not popping up because it's not on your page, on your name. And so that's the first thing that I want you to do. When you are talking about a name, you want to put your name, so you can put Teresa or whatever name you want to go by in your business. And then I typically use like that long vertical line to break it up. And
Mhm.
then I like load the rest of the sentence with keywords that people use to find people that do what I do. So yours could be like Teresa, and then it'll have the long vertical line and it will say like mindset coach for millennial-ish women or, things of that sort. If you are a life coach, it would be life coach for millennial-ish women. But you want to be able to like in simple terms be able to explain who you are, what you do, who you serve, but then also make sure that it's loaded with keywords. So when people are searching, because now with Instagram integrating with Google,
Mhm.
when they're searching these keywords, you have the likelihood of popping up if you have those keywords on your page. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not bolded, but on there, I do have my first and last name and then also
That's in
my.
the bio.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that should be where with Grace Grit Coaching is.
So this is your username right here at the top. This is your name. See how it says Carly LeBlanc, content
I'm
creator?
missing a whole section.
Yeah, yeah. So when you go to your page, you see there's nothing there. So that's what I'm saying, like move it up into this section. And the way you find that is if you go to edit profile, this
Mhm,
first line that says name, that's where that's gonna be.
got it.
And I think you get, I wanna say it's 64 characters you can use in that space. So use it, but make sure that you're putting keywords in there. So don't just clutter it with emojis, random things. Use it to your advantage to include keywords that people are gonna be searching to find people like you.
Got
Does
it.
that make sense? Okay, so let's see. The next thing I wanna talk about is your bio. Okay, so your bio, you have Theresa McKeel. Is that your
Mhm,
last name correct? Okay. Theresa McKeel, mindset coach, helping millennial-ish women turn overthinking into clarity, think less and live more. Free clarity compass. Okay, perfect. So the only thing that I would change there is just moving your name to your actual name.
mm,
And then I love how you say helping millennial-ish women turn overthinking into clarity. I love that. I think it's super clear of who you serve and how you help them. And then let's see, think less, live more. That's kind of like your slogan.
mhm,
Okay. Okay. That's not bad. And then free clarity compass, that's your lead magnet.
yes,
Perfect. You don't necessarily need a location because you can serve anyone from anywhere. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I would change here. No, I actually think that it's not bad. It's not bad because the only thing that I would say, I mean, I typically tell people to have a location, but I don't think you need to have one since you can serve your clients from anywhere. If you want to put your location just so people know where you're based, then you could if you want to, but you don't necessarily have to. I would just move your name to your actual name and just take it out of the bio.
got it.
And then you have your free clarity compass, but maybe I would change that to your actual discovery call.
Okay.
Because the whole goal of being on social is to actually push your services. Now, I'll tell you, a little bit later on what to do regarding to your lead magnet, but I
Mhm,
want to say like whenever someone lands on your page, the main thing that you want them to do is to actually take the next step and to book a call with you to see if you guys, work together well and if that they're going to decide to move forward to hire you on as their coach. Actually, maybe I would change that. I would put instead of putting the free clarity compass as the call to action, I would change your call to action as like schedule a discovery call or something like that.
got it.
There. And I think that that would be good.
Okay.
And then when I click on your link, okay, so you have your link tree, perfect. The free clarity compass, 90 minutes to clarity. What is the 90 minutes to clarity?
That's if you wanna book the 1 hour I'm sorry, the 90-minute clarity call. So,
Okay.
90 minutes of we're getting strategy and all the things in that moment.
Okay. So do they need to book a discovery call before then for
They
that
don't
one?
they
No,
don't
they
have.
don't have to? Okay. So maybe change the words on there to just a 90-minute clarity call. Because you see how, like, when me as the first time looking into it, I was like, well, what is this? You want to be able to convey, because they're not going to always have you there to explain what each link
Yeah,
is. You know what I'm saying? So I would probably change the second link to the 90 minutes, to 90 minutes clarity call. And then the grace and grit experience, what's that?
that's the 8-week program.
Okay, got it. And then meet your next coach. Let's talk. So I also would probably move the free consultation up a little bit higher, maybe like in between. I would actually probably move that to the first one. I would probably do the free consultation first as your first link.
Mhm,
And then the second link would be the 90-minute clarity call. And then the third link, your lead magnet.
okay,
And then all the other things that you can keep them how they are. Because you wanna move the free consultation up because that's the first thing that you're telling them based off of your bio, what you want them to take the first step. And so instead of, like, making them look to find what that link is. Just put it right in their face. It's the first thing that they see. The second thing that I mean, and honestly, you can even swap if you don't want to put the lead magnet third and you want to put it second, you can do it. You can flip them. It doesn't matter much so the order after that. I would just say make sure that the first link that is listed is the link that you're telling them you want them to go to in the bio, if that makes sense. Okay. And then let's see. So I think after that, everything else is good in your link tree. Did you have any questions regarding your name, your bio, or your links?
No, no, it's all, it makes sense, especially with changing up the order of the links that I have.
Okay. Love it. Now, I would say the only thing is I love, love, love the logo for the profile image, but
Mhm.
I kind of feel like when it's a little bit more sensitive type of business that you have,
To do a
when you're getting into people's business, they wanna see who that person is. And
I'm thinking
I
about that.
convicted myself because for the longest I had my logo, and I was like, "Maybe I need to change it." Because then people are like, "Well, who is the person that runs the business?" I'm like, "It's me. It's I." So I think that for your profile image, I would change it to a headshot, like a nicely lit headshot, with you
That's
smiling,
funny.
being a welcoming person just because when you are like trying to it's such a vulnerable place. I mean, it's just like therapy. It's a very vulnerable thing to have someone in your life helping you with very sacred parts of your life, and so you want to be able to see a person that's behind the brand and who's responsible for helping you along your way. So
Yeah.
I would probably just change from the logo to a headshot photo. Okay. Now let's get into your highlights. So you have a highlight
Oh,
for
the part I'm holding my breath for. It's okay, that's why I'm here.
oh,
I'm here for this. Okay.
okay. So you have a highlight for results.
Mhm.
This is
Testimonial.
okay. Testimonials. So testimonials that you have posted on your feed that you reposted to your stories.
Mhm.
Okay, not bad, not bad. Okay, let's see. Overthinking. So, fun fact, what is your go-to move when you're stuck on a decision? Okay, then this is a reel that you have created. You created a co-working content. Yes.
I did.
Okay. And then you have people pleasing. Okay. Then feeling stuck.
I feel like I have too many highlights
Yes. Inner
and that
inner
I don't really know how to use them in a way
yes.
that's the most effective.
Okay. Yes. So I'm going to tell you the way that you want to use highlights are you want it to be a resource library for your potential customer. So,
Oh,
what are some things that they need to see in order to help them take the next step to booking a consultation? So, most people want to see frequently asked questions like, "What services do you offer? How often do I have sessions? Like, what things do you help me with?" Or things of that sort. What does the one-on-one clarity call look like? What does the 90-minute clarity call include? So I would do a frequently asked questions one for sure. Definitely client testimonials. Now, if you have any other testimonials, I would definitely add them there. If you don't, one thing that I like to do is kind of like offer like a one-off service to like people that would potentially benefit from my service in exchange for a clarity call. This is what I did at the beginning when I remember when I first started my business and people were like, "Do you have any testimonials that you work with?" And I'm like, "No."
yeah. I actually have one of those coming up on the 20th. I have another
Yes,
clarity.
yes. So that's what I did. I did kind of like a little beta situation. So
Mhm.
like I took 3 people that I felt would benefit from my service and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to offer you, a free session or something, but in exchange all I'm asking is for, a video testimonial or like a written testimonial or something." And the thing is that you can give them prompts and we kind of talked about this at co-working
Mhm.
content, but you can give them, prompts to kind of guide them because, you don't want somebody to just be like, Teresa's great.
It was
I
nice.
love her. Yeah, no, we
We
don't
need
want
to
that.
hurry
We
up.
want you to talk about the transformation that you experienced when you worked with me. Like, she helped me to get over this hurdle that I was experiencing. And, I got a roadmap to, do X, Y, and Z. Like, that's the type of stuff that we want to see. We want to see transformation. Okay. So that way you can build up that highlight. Because what you have there is great as a starting point, but definitely you're gonna want to build that highlight up. So anytime someone shares something, tags you. If, after you have a session with someone and they're like, oh my gosh, I just got off a call. I feel so amazing. Like, I met with Teresa and she just did X, Y, and Z. Like, that's the place where you highlight those things. Another thing that I wanted you to have is kind of like behind the scenes type situation. Now understand that with mindset, coaching, therapy, things of that sort is very, very confidential. And so it's a little tricky on how you can do that because you want to be able to show BTS without sharing people's business. And you can do one thing that you could do is that you could just show yourself like on camera talking. Like
Mhm.
say if I had my camera propped up right here, behind my computer and it's recording me talking to the computer and maybe you're just putting overlay text or stuff like that.
Got it.
And then you could also even do like reflection sessions. So maybe after you meet with the client and you're like, this was really impactful. Like I feel like somebody on my timeline, like say for instance, if we were working together and we're talking about people pleasing, and you can be like, okay, I just had a session with my client and the topic for today was people pleasing. And one of the key things that I really want you all to understand is XYZ, blah, 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 blah. Because then it shows like, oh, someone trusts her to go talk to her about X, Y, and Z. But then also it shows you as the expert because you know how to overcome, those things. So I would do a mixture of those type of content.
So I just posted something yesterday and I just was like, this is like a really candid moment after speaking with
This
someone.
one?
Yes. So would that be a good example of what you're speaking about? Yeah.
Absolutely. So is this on the feed? Oh yeah, it is.
Reminder. Fear is the absolute worst at giving like
Yes. Yes. So just like you shared this to your story, you could bookmark it in your highlight, your BTS highlight. And then I'm trying to think. I think that those are really the main things that you want to have. Oh, you can have a highlight for your lead magnet. That's
okay.
another one. So you could have a highlight. Maybe you're talking about how to use it. Maybe someone else has used it and they've tagged you in it. Maybe you're giving people a walkthrough of what it is on your stories, or if you're talking about it on your stories. So say for instance, if you're like, okay, this is my clarity compass. And the reason why I created this was X, Y, and Z. And, a lot of people struggle with X, Y, and Z, and this is going to help you achieve X, Y, and Z. Click this link. It's completely free. You can download it, work through it, tag me in it if it helps you, and, go on about your day. And then highlight it there. So people can, when they land there and they're trying to figure out what that is, they can click on that highlight and then, have a little personal message of you explaining what exactly it is. Okay. And I think that that should be it. 'Cause we don't wanna have too many highlights.
Yeah.
We don't wanna have too many highlights. But I think that that is pretty much it. If you wanted to create a highlight, I know a lot of people like to have highlights to kind of break down who they are, like a about me type of situation. You could do a highlight about that. So if you wanna share, like, "This is me, I am X, this is what I do, this is my hobby, this is why I'm passionate about what I do." You could also do that to kinda do, like, a little behind the scenes, thing. But yeah, I would keep it to those specific highlights. So
So
everything that you
frequently asked questions, client testimonials, behind the scenes, lead magnet, and possibly an about me.
Mhm.
Quick question. With the frequently asked questions, would it be better to have a variety of me speaking concerning the frequently asked questions and then actual posts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. You can do a mixture of graphics. You can do, maybe if you're just like typing on a story and you
Mhm.
highlight it there, or if you do talking heads. Yeah, I think that's totally fine.
Got it. So mixed media. Okay.
All right. Any other questions regarding highlight before we move to content? Okay. All right. So I like to take into account typically what I do is I focus on the top 12 posts on the feed.
Mhm.
So you have pin posts, which is excellent. You're utilizing your pin posts. So the first one is a picture of you, beautiful picture. Okay. So this is kind of like an introduction of who
Mhm.
you are. Okay. Got it. Then ways to work with me, coaching to help you think less and live more, 30-minute discovery call, 90-minute clarity call, one-on-one coaching, and then you have a call to action. Perfect. Okay, and then this one is a testimonial. Perfect. Yeah, I wouldn't change those. Those are good. Okay, so let's look at the content after that. So you have the one that you posted yesterday, which I absolutely love, Talking Head. And then this is a testimonial from a
Mhm.
3-month client. which I absolutely love. And then this one is a B-roll of you talking about overthinking.
Mhm.
I love this. I'm so sad I didn't see this because this would have caught my attention. I love flowers. Love it. Okay. And then you have a Sunday prayer. Okay, that's cool. While you're overthinking someone, let's call if I got what you wanted. Okay.
Hey, can I take a quick minute to talk about how uncomfortable growth actually is?
Have you ever found yourself stuck on what to post or struggling to stay consistent on social media? I've been there, and that's exactly why I created this free guide called 30 Days of Done For You Social Media Prompts for Personal Brands. This guide is loaded with prompts to get your gears turning so you can have a gallery of content to create for your brand and never stress about what to post again. And you can grab it right now at cdcreativecoagency.com/content and start creating content that connects without the stress.
Because somewhere along the way, we started believing that if it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
then we.
Okay.
Hey, I wanted to share this really quickly.
And
Sometimes
then
the
this
most
is
powerful
another
way to get
talking
out.
head. Okay. So first of all, I think that you are doing great with the talking heads.
Will say that started coming about a little bit easier after
Okay.
our time together at your content co-working and
Okay.
creative event. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. And it just became like, all right, go ahead and record something real quick. The thought comes, Carly said, record everything.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. And the only thing that I would say is, well, actually, no, because I was going to say, well, no, I'm sorry. So for the talking heads like these,
Hmm.
I would have at the top like a hook so I know what that video is about.
Okay.
So, say for instance, in this one, you are talking about, I missed it.
Don't let fear forecast your future.
Okay. So, yes. So, but then, like, when it comes to the hook, you want the hook to call out the problem that someone is having. So, if somebody's struggling with fear, then you would say, if you're struggling with fear, listen to this or watch this. If overthinking is, stopping you in your tracks, and this is for you, or things of that sort. You want to have that like at least
Got it.
on the screen so people know what they're watching, so
And
that they know if that's even something that they want to spend their time to indulge in. And then there was something else I was going to say. I would like to see more content of you for the cover photos rather than so many like heavy graphics. You can mix them in every now and then, but like going back to what I was saying about the profile image, like people want to be able to see you because they're trusting you as their coach.
Mhm.
So when it comes to like your cover photos, like it could be a selfie of you, and sometimes like I'll repurpose the same images. Like if you scroll down my page, like some of them I repeat all the time. But like when it comes to your cover images, I would rather see a lot more pictures of you or of selfies of you or things of you on the cover image rather than a bunch of like just photos with like overlay text or like flat lays and things of that sort or graphics.
Got it.
And then, let's see. What else? What else? What else? So the pin posts are good. That one we talked about. We talked about the overlay text for the talking heads. We talked about, and I love that you have captions. Keep that up because people don't be listening. They don't be watching videos without.
I
They watch
don't,
videos without sound.
don't at all.
Okay, and then let's see. So the testimonials I think are good to keep as like the graphics, but I would say when it comes to your content, try to not rely heavy on graphics. Cuz when we're thinking about content, we're trying to build know like and trust factor, and it's really hard to build know like and trust factor when your page is filled with like graphics or pictures or videos that are not of you, especially when it comes in this industry where there's a lot of people that are positioning themselves as coaches. A lot of the people on the internet have a hard time with trusting people that they've met on the internet, and so
Yeah.
it would help you a little bit more if people can see more content of
Exactly.
you rather than relying solely on graphics, stock images, things of that sort. Another thing that I was going to say is, and I kind of talked a little bit about this on my stories this morning, but like when it comes to the content that you're pushing out, you want to make sure that in your content, talking heads, all of the things that you have a call to action, but you also want to make sure that you're not like you're keeping your call to action consistent. So if you are right now, like say for instance, if your goal is right now between, the month of September to November, you're focusing on building your email list. That's the
Mhm.
main thing.
That's actually my focus for the rest of the year.
Okay, so perfect. So let's say from September all the way to December 31st, your goal is to get as many people on your mailing list. So all of your content that you're putting on your feed, the call to action is going to be like, hey, click the link in my bio to grab my clarity. What is it called? The clarity.
Clarity Compass.
Clarity Compass. Okay. Yes. And so when you think about your talking head content, when you think about your carousel content, when you think about your B-roll content, all of that is going to segue people into your lead magnet. So even just like you were talking about overcoming fear, like you can start the video off by saying like, on the top, like if you struggle with fear, listen to this video. You're talking about fear, but then you're reeling it in into how it's related to the clarity call compass or the clarity compass, and then you're telling people click the link in my bio to grab the clarity compass. If you do a carousel, then it's the same thing. If you're talking about problem A, problem B that someone else that is in your target demographic has, you're addressing that problem, but then you're positioning your lead magnet as a solution to that problem. Does that make sense?
It does, and I haven't really thought about that much. I know that I try to put a CTA at the end of, like, a caption, but
Hmm.
I've been trying to, like, be more in the moment. So, like, yesterday
Hmm.
was, "I'm recording this. Just got finished speaking with them, I'm recording this." And so I didn't even think, like, put a call to action. It was like, "Get this thought out,
Yeah.
record, and then post it." So I'll
Yeah.
make sure that I start being more intentional about adding that CTA when I am doing talking head content.
And even if you forget, because sometimes I forget when I'm in the moment, because I'll be recording while I'm in the car, and I'll be like, "Oh, I forgot to say," I'll just put it on the screen, like click the link, comment this word, whatever it is, I'll put it on the screen while I'm
Got
still
it.
saying what I gotta say. But yeah, I think that that's kind of like when it comes to content, that's one thing that I really want people to understand. You don't wanna just be out here just throwing content on the feed, like, it has to have a goal. So if your
Yeah,
goal is to build your mailing list and all of your content that you're putting out is with the intent of building your mailing list. So everything that you post is gonna be related to pushing people to your mailing list to grab, your lead magnet and get on your mailing list. Same thing is like if you are focusing on like, "Hey, I wanna get 10 coaching clients." Okay, how are we gonna do that? We're going to be talking about, the benefits that people can see from being a part of my coaching program or the challenges that we help you overcome with being in my coaching program. And then the call to action is going to be click the link in my bio to get started with my coaching program. And so I like to tell people to build like little mini campaigns of, a period of time, start date, end date of when you are, giving yourself a window to do X, Y, and Z. So, like you said, the rest of this year, I'm focusing on building my email list. That's great. I love that. So now from September all the way to December, we're going to be pushing out content related to
yeah,
but then we're also going to be tracking these metrics. And then when you're at the end of each month, you want to be able to go back at your analytics, see what content got the most engagement. If that's the content that got a lot of engagement, then continue to create content like that. If something isn't performing, I wouldn't say completely nix it. I would say try to figure out why is it not performing? Is it the hook that you used? Is it the video, the actual video that you use? Is it the words that you said, the words that you used on your hook? Try to dive in deep onto why those pieces of content didn't perform well, adjust them and try again. If after that time it still doesn't work, then you can, completely throw it out and stick with the things that actually work.
got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Now, did you have any other questions?
I didn't. This really does give me a more targeted focus on things that I need to work on and adjust, and so, yeah, I'm just gonna put them into play.
Yeah, I love it. And listen, you already been putting in some work since co-working in content. So I have
I
no
I've
doubt.
been trying because
I have
typically
no
I wasn't
doubt.
like, if you go to the beginning, there was no pictures of Teresa. I was just like,
Love
people gotta
that.
see who you are. So, yeah, I'm excited about this.
Yes, yes. And then if you could just stick with a cadence that's regular to you, or even if you batch, because I know when we had a discovery call earlier in the year and you were talking about batching, that's something else that you could do, like taking a day out of the month or you're batching a bunch of B rolls just to sit on. So when you have these ideas, you can pull from those videos and, throw some text that's related to what you're talking about for this season and then just schedule it out. And then if you are, committing yourself to do 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you can start scheduling those things out to where then it's just like literally on autopilot, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, this is lovely. I'm glad. I'm so glad. And so for all of you that are listening, make sure that you follow Theresa. You check in with her. Let her know that you heard
Yes.
her episode. Give her some encouraging words in the DMs, in the comments if you see her content. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me
Thank
today.
you for having me and for all this, great amount of, wealth of information. I'm excited and I will continue tuning in.
Yay!
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Side-HustlHER Podcast. I hope you're leaving here today feeling inspired and ready to take your next step. If you love this episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and share with another side hustler who needs to hear it. And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram at Carly Dorlin. I'd love to hear about your side hustling journey. Remember, you're doing better than you think, and your dreams are so worth it. Until next time, keep hustling, sis. You got this.